At 51 years old, Jason Taylor just shocked the NFL world with news no one saw coming. And the first reaction that truly mattered came from his son Mason in a single red heart that said more than 1,000 words ever could. This is not just another celebrity pregnancy announcement. This is legacy. This is family. This is a Hall of Famer stepping into fatherhood again while his own son is building his name in the league. And if you think this is just a feel-good story, stay with me, because what this moment reveals about Mason Taylor, about Jason Taylor, and about the meaning of generational impact in the NFL is far bigger than one Instagram post. On Saturday, Jason Taylor and his wife Monica announced they are expecting a baby girl. The reveal came through a Valentine-themed maternity shoot that instantly caught attention across football circles and beyond. Soft colors, warm smiles, a caption that read, "She's already our Valentine. God's sweetest blessing, a baby girl on the way." It was simple, it was heartfelt, and it carried weight, because this is Jason Taylor, a Hall of Fame defensive end, a Miami Dolphins legend, a man who built his career on relentless pressure and controlled aggression. And now, at 51, he is embracing diapers, midnight feedings, and baby blankets all over again. But here is where the story shifts. The reaction that quietly stole the spotlight came from New York Jets tight end Mason Taylor. Just one emoji. A red heart. No long speech. No dramatic paragraph. Just love. And that subtle response tells us everything about where this family stands. For those who may not be tracking every branch of the Taylor family tree, Mason Taylor is one of Jason's children from his previous marriage to Katina Taylor. Jason and Katina share 3 children together, and Mason has grown up in the public eye, carrying not just a famous last name, but the expectations that come with it. Think about that for a moment. Your father is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. His legacy is cemented. His highlights are immortalized. And now you are carving out your own path in the NFL, wearing a different uniform, building a different chapter. And in the middle of your own professional grind, you find out you are going to be a big brother again. At this stage of life, that dynamic can be complicated. Blended families are not always simple. Age gaps can create emotional distance. Fame can magnify small tensions. But Mason's response? Pure support. That heart emoji was not just acknowledgement. It was unity. It was the quiet confirmation that the Taylor family story is evolving in a healthy direction. Monica and Jason got married in 2020. In 2021, they welcomed their first child together. Now they are preparing for their second. Jason called this pregnancy beyond blessed, and you can feel the gratitude behind those words. Because becoming a father at 51 is not something most men expect. It is a choice rooted in commitment, energy, and faith. And here is what makes this so compelling from a football lens. Jason Taylor spent his career terrorizing quarterbacks. He was intensity personified. He defined defensive dominance in an era when edge rushers were redefining the game. Now, decades later, he is redefining something else entirely. Longevity. Not just athletic longevity. Family longevity. While many former players retreat into quiet retirement, Jason is expanding his world. He is not closing chapters. He is opening new ones, and Mason is watching it unfold in real time. Imagine being Mason Taylor right now. You are a tight end in New York. You are grinding through practices, meetings, film sessions. You are fighting for snaps, for respect, for your own NFL identity. And your father, the Hall of Famer, is trending for baby news at 5'1". It could feel overshadowing. It could feel distracting. But Mason's reaction shows maturity. And that maturity matters. Because leadership is not just what you do in a locker room. It is how you carry yourself in moments that test ego. Now here is where this story deepens. Mason's girlfriend, Sage Wagner, jumped into the comments with excitement. Can't wait to meet her. So precious. That response reinforces something powerful. This is not a fractured family dynamic. This is collective joy. Tennessee Titans quarterback Cam Ward's girlfriend, Nayla Landon, chimed in with congratulations. Mason's aunt, Joy Taylor, added her own enthusiasm, saying she cannot wait. What we are witnessing is not just a pregnancy announcement. It is a public affirmation of unity. And in the NFL world, unity inside a family is not always guaranteed. Professional football careers are demanding. They strain relationships. They stretch time. They amplify pressure. Many legacies end in quiet distance. But here, we see something different. We see alignment. Jason Taylor's life has spanned multiple chapters. His marriage to Katina. Their 3 children. the ups and downs that come with public relationships. His eventual marriage to Monica in 2020. The birth of their first child together in 2021. And now, another baby girl on the way. That is growth. That is evolution. And Mason stands at the center of it as both son and big brother. Here is the curiosity that lingers, though. How does being the child of a Hall of Famer shape you when you are also building your own NFL career? Because Mason Taylor is not just Jason's son, he is his own athlete, he has his own expectations. His own locker room. His own critics. The easy narrative would be to say he lives in his father's shadow. But moments like this reveal something else. They reveal stability. They reveal a foundation strong enough that a major life announcement does not fracture attention. It amplifies love. Jason announcing a baby at 51 is bold. It challenges assumptions about age and timing. It reminds fans that athletes are human beings with evolving lives long after the final whistle. And let's be honest, the internet can be ruthless. There will be jokes about age. There will be comments questioning timing. There will be debates about parenting later in life. But here is what cannot be debated. Joy radiates through that announcement. And Mason's heart emoji? That is armor. That is the next generation saying, I stand with you. If you look closely at Jason's journey, there is something poetic about this chapter. He built a career on physical dominance. Now he is building something far more delicate. A daughter. A baby girl. There is a softness to that. A contrast that humanizes even the fiercest competitors. And Mason, as a tight end, plays a position that requires balance. Physicality and finesse. Blocking and receiving. Strength and touch. It mirrors this moment. Strength and legacy. Softness in family. The Taylor name is not just about sacks and tackles anymore. It is about birthdays and baby showers. And here is the larger NFL conversation this sparks. We talk constantly about generational talent. About football bloodlines. About sons of legends stepping into the league. But rarely do we talk about what happens when the legend continues expanding his family while the son is still writing his own story. That dynamic is rare. It creates layers. Mason is not just carrying forward a legacy. He is simultaneously witnessing it evolve. Jason becoming a father again at 51 sends a subtle message to his children, including Mason. Life does not stop after accolades. Identity is not frozen at retirement. Growth is ongoing. That is powerful, because athletes often struggle with transition after their playing days end. The loss of structure. The loss of spotlight. The loss of purpose. Jason is choosing purpose. Family is purpose. And Mason is publicly embracing it. Now think about the locker room conversations that will follow. Teammates asking Mason about the baby. Jokes about babysitting. Smiles. Bonding moments. Football culture thrives on family narratives. Players bring their kids to games. They celebrate births in end zones. They dedicate touchdowns to daughters. This baby girl will grow up with a Hall of Fame father and an NFL big brother. That is a legacy few can imagine. But with legacy comes expectation. And here is the question that quietly hovers. Does Mason feel pressure to mirror his father's greatness, or does he feel freedom to define his own? Moments like this suggest freedom, because pressure creates distance. Freedom creates support. A simple red heart emoji tells us there is no resentment. No competition. No fractured lines. Just love. And that may be the most important story here. Not the age. Not the surprise. The unity. Jason Taylor's announcement could have been just another celebrity headline. Instead, it became a glimpse into how football families can thrive across chapters. Marriages change. Children grow. Careers shift. But if the foundation holds, everything else aligns. Monica calling the baby God's sweetest blessing speaks to faith anchoring this family. And faith often provides stability when public scrutiny intensifies. At 51, Jason is choosing late-night cries over quiet retirement evenings. He is choosing fatherhood responsibilities while many of his peers are stepping into grandfather roles. That is courage, and it requires support from every branch of the family tree. Mason's reaction shows that support exists. Now here is where I want to turn it to you. When you see a Hall of Famer step into fatherhood again at 51, what does that say to you about legacy and longevity? Does it inspire you? Surprise you? Make you question the timing? And more importantly, how do you think this impacts Mason Taylor as he builds his own NFL journey with the Jets? Because this story is not just about a pregnancy announcement. It is about generational identity. It is about growth after greatness. It is about a son standing beside his father rather than beneath his shadow. And as this baby girl enters the world, she will not just be born into a football family. She will be born into a story still being written. A story that now includes a red heart emoji that spoke volumes. Drop your thoughts below. If you were in Mason's position, would you feel pressure, pride, or a mix of both? And do you believe Jason Taylor becoming a father again at 51 strengthens his legacy or complicates it? Hotspot NFL is about more than stats. It is about the human stories shaping the league in ways box scores never capture. And this one? This one is just getting started. Because the next chapter will not be written on a field. It will be written in a nursery. And that might be the most powerful legacy of all.